Welcome to the Chic Show. Chic, cheap, repeat. Project number 1 is a spring tag. Before I get started on the tag, I'm going to go ahead and put some hydrogen peroxide, salt, and vinegar in this cup, along with a metal washer. I'm trying to age the metal washer and take the shine off of it. I will leave that to soak for a while I work on the tag. I'm going to be using one of these shorter, fatter arrow signs from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the hanger and then I'm going to take it outside and give it a good beating with my hammer. The goal of this is to make this new wood look old. Back inside, I'm going to score the wood and cut off all 3 points of the arrow. I'm going to sand any rough edges, and I'm also going to fill in those 2 holes with some wood filler. Once the wood filler had dried, I went ahead and sanded down those spots. Now I'm using some Waverly antique wax watered down, and I'm going to stain the wood front, back, and sides. To add some age to this piece, I'm also going to dry brush it with some Waverly chalk paint in ink, and then I'm going to wipe that back. The stain and the black paint get down in those grooves that we made with the hammer and make it really look aged. Now I'm using a mixture of clear wax mixed with a cream colored paint to give it a white wax effect. These rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree will be perfect for this tag. I'm going to be rubbing those on the top, and then I'll be stenciling on the word bloom. I think these stencils are from Dollar Tree, as well as the stencil brush, and I'm using Waverly White chalk paint for this. I was careful to dry the letters in between each stencil so they wouldn't smear. Now I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue wood glue and glue the washer around that hole at the top. And I think I forgot to hit record, but I did do a little bit of dry brushing with that white wax over those black rub-on transfers just so they wouldn't look quite so new. I added on this thicker jute twine, and this project is finished. This video today is part of a playlist called First Friday. It's an open challenge hosted by Lisa from Our Gray House and guest hosted by Connie at Connie's Creative Creations, and also Mom with Creative DIY with Mom Das. Project number 2 is an antique looking church. I'm using this reception sign from Dollar Tree as well as a couple of craft sticks. I'm using my miter shears to cut one to fit the roof. I'm going back to that same antique wax mix that I used in the previous DIY to stain the roof. I'll also be using the same technique using the black ink Waverly chalk paint and the white wax mix. I'll be using that same technique on this larger popsicle stick that I'll be using for the door of the church. So that the popsicle stick will fit flush with the church, I'm going to cut off that bottom rounded part. The stand part of the sign has been removed, so now I'm going to give it a couple of coats of Waverly white chalk paint. Because I'll be using some candle wax in a few minutes, I am going to go ahead and seal the white paint with this clear spray paint. Now I'm going to be using some Waverly chalk paint. I believe it's truffle, and I'm just going to add that to random places on the sign. And once again, I will be sealing that with clear spray paint. I'm going to apply candle wax pretty heavily along the sides and along some of that brown paint so that when I go to sand it, that brown paint will show through. And now a final coat of Waverly white chalk paint. Now I'm going to work on my door. I'm going to draw a line down the middle of that larger popsicle stick. It didn't show with my black pen, so I did use more of a marker. And now I'm going to sand down the edges of the church as well as those random places on the church. And now we can glue on the door. Every church needs a cross, so I'm using some of these mini clothespins. I took them apart and I'm cutting them down to make a cross. Once I have them to a size and shape that I like, I go ahead and stain those as well. Once the cross is glued in place, I'm going to be using some of these butterfly stickers from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use one of the smaller butterflies, cut it in half, and make door handles. The gold sheen is a little too much, so I did use some Waverly antique wax to take that sheen away. I also used some of the white wax mix to brush onto the cross. I love this piece and I hope you do too. Project number 3 is a spring fence. I'll be using 6 regular size Jenga blocks, 3 jumbo craft sticks, and these magnetic letters from Dollar Tree. First, I'm going to glue the 6 Jenga blocks together using super glue wood glue. Next, I'm cutting the craft sticks in half. Then I'm going to make the rounded ends pointed like a picket fence. Once I have 6 pieces, I'm going to glue them to the top of the Jenga blocks using that same wood glue. Now I'm going to give everything 2 coats of Waverly White chalk paint. Now I'm going to use those magnetic letters, and I'm choosing only the letters that spell out the word spring. I'm going to hot glue them down to the fence, and I'm going to overlap them just a little bit. This makes them a little bit more whimsical, and the colors are right just like they are. Now using color-coordinated pieces of twine and some jute twine, I'm going to tie a bow around the fence. I fluffed out the bow a bit, and then I added a small flower to the center. This is a pretty quick, simple, and easy DIY for spring. I would like to thank again Lisa, Mom, and Connie for hosting today's playlist. Be sure and check out the playlist and their channels listed in the description box below. As a reminder, you can also find me on Instagram at The Chic Show DIY. And also remember to share the chic. Thanks for watching. Bye now.